Pwyll is our director here, and I've heard this play called a very funny play about a very serious subject. What does that mean exactly?
It's also, the subtitle is a revenge comedy.
A revenge
A
comedy.
revenge comedy. It is about a woman who is fed up with her abusive husband, duct tapes him to a chair, has her friends come for cheerful support,
I'm the man.
and they act out his violence. They act out the things he's done so that they try to get him to understand that what he's done is wrong, and then they threaten to surround him with all of the deer meat that he's been collecting over the years from illegal poaching, and honey, and leaving him open to the bears in the neighborhood.
So is that sort of the suspense of the show? Like, will they or won't they
Yes.
leave him to the bears?
Yes,
I
and
think
will
that-
she or won't she actually leave him?
And will she actually leave him?
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nick, you play Simon. Can you tell us a little bit about who that character is?
Simon is Nan's best friend from high school, and he's a gay guy. He's somewhat flamboyant.
Somewhat. John, come on around this way. No, the other way, the other way, the other way.
And
From the backstage.
and he's always supported her, but he's only recently found out that she's been battered by her husband, and so he shows up in a supportive outfit.
A supportive outfit.
Yes, we call it a supportive outfit because it's a cheerleader's outfit with pom poms.
With
And so we're not only reenacting some of the scenes that he's perpetrated on her, but we are also telling him about himself, how other people see him, and here he is right now.
And here
He's our
he
bad
is. So, John
the
Cochran, tell us about the loathsome Kyle.
He is, well, loathsome. He's kind of like the general idea that you think of when you think of that sort of conservative manosphere sort of guy that's just like, okay, no, I have to be the old-fashioned man, and if that means, then I'll do that. That being said, underneath a lot of it, though, he's not exactly comfortable with it. He does it because that's the expectations that his father set for him, and the way he was raised, and the way all the guys that he hangs out with all look at it. But like, there's parts during the play where you kind of see a little bit into his mind that it's not exactly who he wants to be. It's just who he is expected to be by the worst people you can imagine.
So we have kind of two characters trapped in conventional gender roles and toxic masculinity,
Yeah.
if I can use that word.
Oh God, yeah.
And then on the other hand, we have Nan's two friends, Simon, and who is the other friend?
Her name is Sweetheart.
She
and
goes
she's-
by Peaches.
And she's a stripper.
She's a stripper.
And she works at the Highway Club under the name Peaches. And but she wants to be an actress, serious actress. So she's only stripping while she gets her big break. And so she's and this whole thing takes place in Georgia. So there's lots of deep south kind of lingo, and we're y'all this and
And
too
I-
sweet that, and anyway, it's great.
Yeah, and I tell people, if you know your Shakespeare, you might recognize the title, Exit Pursued by a Bear, one of the most famous stage directions of all time, because it comes in Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale. And if you know Shakespeare, it is a loosely adapted version of A Winter's Tale set in northern Georgia, modern northern Georgia. We're saying it's about 2022 because that's when Jimmy Carter was still doing personal appearances, and he sort of makes one at the end of this play.
So Jimmy Carter is sort of a eminence grise in this
Nan,
play,
Nan
huh?
Carter.
Who's
That's
the
her
lead
name.
That's her
character.
name.
Uh-huh.
And she always, a couple times says, you know, I wish Jimmy Carter was my father, but he's not. But she's constantly quoting things from Jimmy Carter. And things get flashed up onto the screen. So when there's a quote, there's the quotes up there with a picture of Jimmy Carter.
And various things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of things get thrown up there.
Yeah, the screen is one of the characters, really,
Mm-hmm.
and the audience is very much participatory in the play
If they're
because
so participatory, why do they leave me strapped to the chair?
yeah, they strap him to the chair, but they address the audience as well and explain to the audience their position, why they're doing what they're doing, encourage the audience to participate in the song at the end, and so there's all kinds of many layers. It's a unique style. It's a very sometimes it's presentational, sometimes it's comedy, sometimes not
Right.
so much. It's
Right. But there are definitely serious overtones
mhm.
that are dealt with in a comedic kind of way.
Yeah, you'll laugh.
And
And
even
then-
when they're delivered in a serious way, something will happen almost right away to make it take the sharpness away from it, but it's still in your mind
Mhm.
of what's happening, what has happened.
Well,
And-
Lauren Gunderson is, I think, our most produced contemporary American playwright. So not for nothing. I mean, she's a hoot. It's funny,
It's well written.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
very funny.
And she does again what Shakespeare did. You take a very serious, very intense moment, and something really, really funny happens. You know, so.
Now, Avi or anybody else, can you talk a little bit about the cycle of abuse and how that relates to the suspense of the play?
I really can. I have a master's in clinical psych and worked in that field for a long time. And there is such a cycle. It's so blatantly played out. And yet, well, there is the abuse. But it begins with an abusive person will generally start by testing, seeing if the person that they are with will put up with their abuse by first being verbally abusive. Then they try it in front of their family, where their family allow it. Then it escalates and escalates until there is a battering episode. And then there's, oh my God, I never should have done that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. I will never do it again. He says all these
Yeah, yeah.
things, you know. And then he says, no, but there was romance and it was beautiful, and the abuser will come with flowers and jewelry and
Love bomb.
apologies, love bombs, and then he, charm his way back into the victim's life, and then the cycle begins again, and all too often it only ends in the death of one or the other, because love is involved, and it's hard to leave a loved one, and it's hard. Often the woman is left with no job, no money, no credit, nothing, and
That's
she feels like
something-
she can't get out.
That's something Nan brings up in the play.
Yes,
that she
exactly.
doesn't. I don't have any money. I don't want to leave my stuff. Why am I afraid of my stuff? Is one of the lines.
Yeah.
Well, this brings in why friends and family are so important in this play. And we're in the Russian River community, which is a very much LGBTQ positive community, and sometimes we use the phrase like chosen family. Nick, could you talk at all about how chosen family is shown in this play versus the conventional maybe less than healthy heterosexual normative family?
Sure. Well, it starts with this heterosexual couple, but Nan has these other two kind of unconventional extended family members, and they've always been very close, at least Simon and she have been close. Sweetheart's new to the family, and so I don't know if I should tell this part about her being pregnant.
I don't know if you should tell the part about her being pregnant.
It turns out that she's pregnant, and she springs that on us. And she also says that she doesn't want the real father to be the father. She wants me to be the father and Sweetheart to be the mom Hardu. And
much
so
to Kyle's.
basically we're leaving him behind to the bears, and we're going to go off and be a family, a nuclear family together. But none of us are blood relatives, but we're making a family together.
That's really exciting, but we don't know until the end, and I'm not going to give the end away. We don't know, does she stick with Kyle and give him another chance, or head off into the unknown?
You'll have to come to find out.
Yes, and the show, right when you think it's ended, it hasn't ended. So then, when you think it's ended again, it still hasn't quite ended.
Then there's a third time when you
Yeah,
think it's
right.
ended, and it still hasn't ended.
And then finally it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
does end,
it
and
does eventually end. I can assure you that
Yeah.
there is a point where we take a bow.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, all of you. It really sounds like so much fun.
It is.
And profound, and you don't often get those two things together. So thank
We
you
had a
for
great
your time.
opening night with a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yes.
And they were very enthusiastic.
Yes.
So I hope they'll go tell their friends, and anybody that sees this, tell your friends, and even if you don't think you like it, tell your friends anyway.
And if you think, oh my gosh, a drive to Monterey, no, it's no longer than going across town in Santa Rosa, and it's a pretty drive. Come on.
Yes, it's the beautiful Russian River.
It is.
And
Really,
you'll have
go
a
out
great
to the-
time.
Yes.
Go out to the beach for the day, and then finish it off with dinner and a play.
That's right. That's right. There you go.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. We run Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. Through September,
Close the 27th of September.
what he said.
Okay, close the 27th with a champagne gala, I understand.
Champagne
Champagne gala, and by that means not just champagne, but a lovely feast cooked by a wonderful chef.
Yeah, he
And-
comes up with incredible food.
Really.